Hello and welcome to Live at Lane. I am Keyontae Wallace, a mathematics and physics major and a member of the class of 2018. Tonight we have special guest Jasmine Hudson from the National Panhellenic Council. Hello Jasmine, how are you doing today?
Hi, Keyontae. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing swell for tonight. So I just wanted to know, where are you from?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. What brought you to Lane?
My sister is alumni, so my daddy decided to keep it in the family, so he wanted me to come here as well.
Okay. So currently, do you have any positions or do you hold any titles with the campus?
I am Miss Senior of the senior class. I am the secretary of the National Panhellenic Council. I am the secretary of my sorority, the Alpha Gamma chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I'm a senior class executive officer. I'm the parliamentarian. Yeah, that's about it.
Those are some amazing titles.
Thank you.
So, so you said that you are the secretary of the NPHC. So, could you give us like a brief description of what the National Panhellenic Council is?
The National Panhellenic Council is a council that holds house the Greeks on the campus. Without a NPHC council, you would not be able to have Greeks on the campus because you have to go through the NPHC in order to operate the Greeks on the campus. So it's like the housing of the Greeks, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, being that you are Greek, what are some changes that we should expect from the Greeks far as the campus?
I definitely expect more leadership from the Greeks and a more positive role, because whether the Greeks admit it or not, the Greeks are being looked at. So I feel like if the Greeks have a more positive look and more Greek unification among the Greeks, because if we're not unified amongst each other, how can we get them to be unified when they join?
I understand that, being Greek myself too.
And very supportive of each other.
Yes. So, are there any events coming up that we should take notice on with the NPHC or any Greek organizations?
Yes. We have the Greek Nick, which is April 19th. It consists of the entire NPHC will host chapel. We will take care of the prayer, the scripture, and we will be the ushers for the chapel. We will have a barbecue following chapel right outside the gymnasium in the parking lot. And later that night, we will have a Greek switch where the sororities will imitate the fraternities and the fraternities will imitate the sororities. So make sure you guys come out and support that. We also have the Greek God and Goddess pageant, where the Greeks will represent the organization in the pageant, where you rep your org, you stroll, and you have a question and answer. So please be on the lookout for that. The date of that is actually April 13th.
What are the times of those events?
The time of the Greek God and Goddess is 6. The Greek Nick it's going to be at 7.
Okay. So what are some things that you have as far as changes towards Lane College's campus? Since you are Miss Senior, I mean, you've been here at least 4 years. What are some changes that you have seen positive on the campus of Lane College?
I like how the students are more engaged with each other as far as social events. I like how the promotion of events are being promoted on the campus. A flyer is not always the way to communicate. It's word of mouth, or, just being updated on what's going on the campus. What I like to see change, I like to see more participation when it comes to chapel, when it comes to just events, period, to try to help the school in a better light, if you get what I'm saying.
I understand.
Okay.
So I never got to ask the question, what is your major?
My major is sociology.
So since we're approaching graduation, after graduation, what are some of your plans?
I want to become a probation officer, and then I want to go to grad school where I can become a medical psychiatrist for abused and troubled families.
So, what grad schools are you looking at?
I'm looking at SIUE, which is Southern Illinois University of Edwardsville. It's about 4 hours from Jackson. I'm looking at Alabama A&M, which is our partner schools, about 3 hours. I'm looking at UIC, which is University of Chicago, where I was nominated for the HBCU Bridge Scholarship. I'm looking at University of Memphis as well.
Okay, so if you was to go to University of Memphis or Alabama A&M, you wouldn't be that far from home, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Well, I wanted to know, well, unfortunately, this is the end of this segment,
Okay.
so we'll be right back. And we have special guest Jasmine Hudson here tonight. So, I never got to ask, what made you choose Sigma Gamma Rho?
Because back in my hometown, I used to always see these, I used to call it 3RP. And I always be like, what is that? And then they were always accomplished, they were wealthy, they were well off, they just were well dressed, well groomed, everything. They just looked it well. So I always told myself, I want to be like whoever she is. I want to be whatever she wanted to be. So I had a mentor, her name was Cynthia, and she told me if I would do it, she would sponsor me. So I came to Lane and I saw the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho, and I became interested. I became more involved in their community services and their activities. So I joined.
So what is your favorite part of being a lady of Sigma Gamma Rho?
The service, I would have to say. It's not about strolling. It's not about who can rep the hardest, who runs the yard, because at the end of the day, you join to give back. So I just do it for the service. I just literally like the service part.
So do you guys have any up and coming programs or any community service activities that you guys are currently doing?
Well, our Greek week was currently last week. So no, we don't. We are the host of the Greek God and Goddess pageant. That's it.
So will we see a Greek week from you guys?
Next year.
Next year?
But we are hoping to collide with the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated for another week, because we were unable to do our week.
So, how do you feel about Greek life on HBCU campuses, and is it necessary for the development and the culture of an HBCU?
If the question you're asking me is the Greek life important to the HBCU, yes. I feel like if you can't come and educate yourself, you can come and have a good time. You could see them stroll. You could engage in the activities that the Greek throws. I think we need leaders on the campus. So I feel like if no one else is going to step up, I feel like the Greeks should. So I feel like the leadership, the empowerment, and the just HBCU connection, just a black entertainment, a black connection would be great. And I would just love for the Greeks to do that more often and reach out to the student body as Greek leaders of the campus.
Okay, so recently there was a film that came out by the name of Burning Sands. And it was about Greek life on an HBCU campus. I want to know, what was your opinion? How do you feel about the movie?
I feel like Burning Sands was overly exaggerated. I feel like it's looking at the HBCU in a positive aspect, because the HBCU is not portrayed that way. From my understanding or my experience, I just didn't like the movie at all. I feel like it was, I don't know, I didn't like the movie at all, period. I didn't like it.
That's understandable. So, What are some of your strengths and weaknesses?
Academically or socially?
Both.
Academically, my weakness is in academic is definitely test taking. I could study, but when it's time to take a test, I don't know. I perform it's not well. And my strengths in academic is I do my work on time. I do it ahead of time. I try to enforce the students to do their work ahead of time. Right now, I'm currently a graduating senior, so I encourage the seniors to go ahead and take their SPE right now. But the deadline is the 31st, so I have told them they should have been did it. Another one of my strengths is I like to buy my books. I don't know, when I first got here, they told me not to buy my books, but I still buy books. So I like to buy my books. I just like to be ahead of the professor. I like to challenge the professor in the classroom. So I feel like if he's wrong, I'm going to challenge him.
That's one thing that I always get when it comes to being in class, because I actually buy all of my math books, even though all of my math books have never been under $75. I buy every book for every class, every semester, and it's really crazy because it's like you got $600 to spend, but your books, like I bought 7 books last semester, and those 7 books alone were $1,200, and one of my books were two of my books were $250. And I had a $600 book voucher, and I was trying to figure out, like, how do you expect me to afford all my books?
Right.
But then last semester they were more affordable, but now they're like a little bit more expensive, but still, I actually buy my books. So you're a sociology major. What made you choose that role that major out of all the majors that you could have possibly chosen from?
I chose sociology because I want to better the community as far as the children, the youth, the adults, the troubled people, the people that actually need the help and not want it. If I could take a classroom of kids and change at least one person's life, then I'll feel accomplished. So I'm just all about people. I'm just a people person.
So who's your favorite faculty member, and what was your worst teacher and your best teacher?
My favorite faculty is Dr. Chakuma. He's in the sociology department. He's actually my advisor. I like him because he knows when to play and he knows when to educate. He can separate the two. Sometimes he can be snarky, but he's a really good educator, and I feel like out of all the people in this institute, I've learned the most from. And the worst I would have to say, she doesn't work here anymore, but she could not speak good English. So, but she was a good teacher. I just couldn't understand what she was saying.
So my last question for this segment is going to be, can you give me a brief summary of what your organization is and what your organization stands for, basically, through your eyes?
Okay. We focus on scholarship, service, and sisterhood. We have initiatives that we're supposed to hit every year. One is called H3 All About Me. One is Operation Book Bag, where we give supplies back to the students, the children, of course. We provide backpacks, pencils, pens, paper, notebooks, spiral notebooks, anything to help them go ahead and go forward with their education. We have the Umaouiji Essay Project, where we pick high school students from each school where they write an essay. And whoever gets picked, I think they have like scholarships waiting for them when they get out of high school, or they get a cash prize. What Sigma Gamma Rho means to me, it just means a sisterhood. It means connecting with another sister, changing another sister, and helping another sister. If I'm down and out, I'm gonna call one of my sorors, because we just big on sisterhood. If we could we just need to build our numbers and expand the organization as a whole.
Well, unfortunately, this is it for this show of Live at Lane. Thank you, Jasmine, for participating today.
You're welcome.
And that's a wrap.